The ABC 17 Stormtrack Severe Weather Special, sponsored by I-70 Towing and Recovery and Boone Electric Cooperative, starts now.
Mid-Missouri has experienced an active weather pattern the last few weeks, and the busiest season for severe weather is quickly approaching. Thanks for joining us for the ABC 17 Stormtrack Severe Weather Special. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jessica Hafner. This time last month, parts of the region were digging out from nearly a foot of snow, and mid-Missouri sank to its coldest temperature on record at -8 degrees, beating out the previous record set back in 1958. Tonight, the ABC 17 Stormtrack weather team is taking a look at the months ahead and what possible risks we could face as mid-Missouri thaws for summer.
We'll also show you how emergency response plans have changed after major events like the tornado that struck Jefferson City and Eldon in 2019. And with two major rivers meeting right here in the Show Me State, mid-Missouri is no stranger to flooding. During tonight's special, we'll be breaking down this year's flood chances.
In the event of severe weather, having accurate data can quite literally mean the difference between life and death. We're speaking with experts at MU's Atmospheric Sciences Department to learn more about how weather data is collected.
And here across the Midwest, severe weather could strike at a moment's notice, so it's important to know what you can do to stay safe. And we're also going to be taking a look at what storm shelters across Missouri need to do in order to keep residents safe.
And I'm taking a look back at the last 10 years of severe weather in mid-Missouri to compare what years were the most active. I'll show you what type of weather pattern we were in when we had the most hail, strong winds, and tornadoes.
And we are tracking your long-range spring forecast. We'll tell you what you need to keep you and your family safe this severe weather season, along with what's normal for mid-Missouri from March through May. Winter has probably seemed active to many of us with a high number of winter events, but we actually ended up with less snow than normal through March 1st. Snow amounts across the upper Midwest were similar, which bodes well for our rivers this spring. 2020 ended up being fairly tame as far as severe weather goes. Thunderstorms were reported 43 days of the year, and our spring rainfall was slightly above average. Despite the uptick in rainfall and deeper snowpack upstream, river flooding wasn't much of an issue. I'm tracking near normal flood conditions this spring, with minor flooding possible on the Missouri River through late May. With no ongoing river flooding, stream flows appear normal along the Missouri and smaller rivers despite the recent ice jam near Jefferson City in February that backed up flow for a few days. Snow cover is much lower than average across the upper Missouri Basin in Minnesota and the Dakotas, and soil moisture is also lower than normal in these areas. The drier environment will allow more storage in the upper Missouri River Basin for the months to come. However, with more snow cover across Iowa into eastern Nebraska, there could be some minor flooding impacts downstream in our area. There is a 50% chance of surpassing minor flood levels in Herman, Boonville, Glasgow, and Chamois. And there's also a 75% chance of reaching minor flood stage on the Moreau River in Jefferson City and as well on the Petite Saline in Boonville. The Grand River in Sheraton County has a 75% chance of reaching moderate flood stage this year. Rainfall is expected to be near average this spring, but heavy rain or thunderstorm events could temporarily cause rises in river levels, especially on smaller streams. The black line on this graph shows the historical chance of reaching each flood stage at Glasgow, while the red line shows the forecast given the current conditions. This year, we are trending below the historical average, meaning flooding is likely to be less impactful this year. Herman is closer to the yearly average through minor flood stage, with even less of a chance of reaching moderate flood stage. Barring any major rain events, significant flooding is not expected on the Missouri River, which could help recovery efforts in towns that saw devastation in 2019. Emergency departments are looking over their plans in case of a severe storm and using past events to grow. ABC 17's Connor Hirsch looked into how past events play a role in emergency planning, and Cole County leaders are still learning from the tornado nearly 2 years ago.
Some parts of the capital city are still rebuilding after the tornado that tore through the heart of the city nearly 2 years ago. Now leaders are taking the knowledge they learned from that event and applying it to emergencies in the future.
And whatever comes our way, clearly we've been able to show that we'll get through it together.
An EF3 rated tornado, flooding, and a deadly pandemic have all struck Jefferson City in the past 2 years. And Cole County Emergency Coordinator Sierra Thomas said so much has been learned from each.
We were able to build a rapport better with each other. So in the event that something smacked us in the face, for lack of better words, let's just say a tornado or, another, disaster, whichever, I know who to call. people know who, have my number to call me.
After the tornado in May of 2019, the former coordinator Bill Farr put together an after-action report, which we got a hold of. Thomas said the document is a wealth of knowledge.
And I noticed one of the big things we were lacking was communication or interoperability within communication.
And because of that assessment, Cole County bought video call technology with various funds, including some CARES Act relief funding.
So in the event that I can't get to, say, JCPD or Public Works can't get to the mayor's office, we can all still kind of interact. And all of that, honestly, Connor, stemmed from what was lacking during the tornado.
Other agencies like Boone County Emergency Management are also looking at spring weather plans. Cheryl Gladney saying communication and technology are key factors.
We always are looking at our plan and whether or not something that we saw from our neighbors or somewhere else in the state or somewhere else in the country, whether or not that applies to how we would need to do business here.
While Boone County didn't change any specific plans after the 2019 tornado, Gladney says plans are consistently changing as things evolve.
Each individual agencies that responded to assist Jeff City probably looked at some of their processes, what went well when they were down there, what maybe needed some tweaking.
Leaders say the best way to stay personally prepared is to have a plan for your family, whether you're home, in your car, or at school or work. You can find more information about that on our website at abc17news.com. Reporting in Jefferson City, Connor Hirsch, ABC 17 News.
You can also find the full after-action report from the Jefferson City tornado on our website, abc17news.com. After the break, we'll bring you a closer look at one way meteorologists collect weather data to ensure an accurate forecast. And later in the special, I'm taking an in-depth look at this year's extended spring forecast to give you an idea of what to expect this spring with an active pattern ahead.